And Dave, let's move on away from the Chicago chatter. It's always nice to dive into the Chicago talk because we're both Bulls fans here in Chicago. But
gotta give the people what they want.
Give them what they want. But we're going to continue the draft talk going with two guys who could be taken in the top 5, but two guys who could be taken with the number 4 pick. One of so could even be taken with the number 3 pick, although I think it's
allegedly.
RJ. But basically, Jarrett Culver and Darius Garland. And the question we're going to try to hammer down is who will trade up for Jarrett Culver and Darius Garland. I keep wanting to call him Jarius Garland. Darius. Or as you spelled, Darius Garland.
Darius.
So the bit of rumors that we have to unpack is, so with Jarrett Culver, there are a ton of teams that love him. The Hawks love him. The Suns have said to love him, but I think they're sitting more on Kobe White. And they're like, fine, we'll take him at 6. The Cavs also really like Jarrett Culver.
Seems like a great compliment.
But right now, the thing is, the Hawks seem to be really trying to push up, where they offered a trade to the Knicks, and the Knicks said, get out of here. We're not trading the number 3 pick for the 8 and the 10. And I went, okay. I originally had you guys doing that. Good thing I didn't have that in my mock anymore. Now it becomes like the 4. The Pelicans are thinking maybe trading the 4 for the 8 and the 10. And there are rumors that the Celtics, because everyone else is choosing to sign elsewhere and AD is no longer on their radar, that they want to use. The rumor from Woj was that they're going to move at least one of their picks. Well, now it's that, hey, they want to try to move up to get Darius Garland. In your mind, Dave, will Culver be a Hawk on draft night and will Garland be a Celtic? Or will there be other teams that try to trade up for either of these two?
So when I'm trying to break this down, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is that Pelicans have the 4. So if we're going for priority here, I think Jarrett Culver is the priority. I think that he has proven much, much more than Darius Garland at this point. Obviously, Garland only was able to play a handful of games this year. Looks great in workouts, though. Everybody says shooting strokes. He's back and he's healthy. He's looking good. And assuming the team medically clears him, he'll be in Summer League, which I'm excited for because we'll be there.
Hopefully he'll be in Vegas Summer League.
Point being, I think the first guy off the board is going to be Jarrett Culver at the number 4. So I do expect the Hawks to be moving up. I think that deal finds a way to get done. Their front office is so good at just knowing these are the guys we want, and we're going to do what it takes to get them. And if we can squeeze something else out of it, great. But when it comes time to get it done, I think they're going to have the right pieces in place, whether it is 8, 10, 34.
It's funny how these guys that worked at Golden State, like in some sense of like they are from Golden State. You've got Jerry West, obviously built the whole thing in Golden State. It's kind of like they know what to do. And it's like these
Clippers
teams
are still piecing
like
their bits together. But yeah, the Hawks look like they've got a good young core already.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to find a way to get that done. But then once we hit Darius Garland land at 5, because the Cavs have a decision to make. A lot of people say Colin Sexton, what he showed them at the second half of last year, was impressive enough to say, this is our guy. He's a legit stud. Let's find someone to play off ball from him. A lot of other people like, what would be better than 1 scoring guard? 2 scoring guards. Let's go get Darius Garland because he's got a ton of upside. He's got that, that Dame potential that everyone wants to have now. You want to have a guard who can go out there, take fucking 35-foot threes from anywhere on the court, just dropping it in. I believe that they would be very willing to listen to offers because this is a Cavs team that is roster-wise kind of stuck in an awkward place because they've got a couple heavy contracts in Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love. And then on the young side, you've got a long-term deal with Larry Nance, which I think is going to be fine. I like Larry Nance. He's a springy player. I liked him since he came in the league.
And he's
tons
up
of energy.
In 2023.
Right,
so
they signed him that long term. So really, your young core is Sexton, Jetty, and Larry Nance.
And even Jetty he's an RFA after next season.
Right. So like those are your 3 building blocks together. You need more assets. You need more talent.
Yeah.
So I think they would be very, very willing to listen to the Celtics, who they've done business with before. That's how they got Colin Sexton in town.
Yeah.
Go figure. The winner of the Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas trade is the Cavs for Colin Sexton. What? That's some history right there.
All because Boston didn't win a title.
Not only did they not win a title, because
they imploded last year.
They literally imploded, and unfortunately, before that, Gordon Hayward's leg imploded.
Yeah,
that really I don't want to speak bad of them,
it.
but that really did throw everything out, you know. But point being, they're willing to do business, and they've done business in the past between the front offices. I think that the Cavs have the assets, are looking for the assets that the Celtics are holding on to.
And the thing is with the Cavs is apparently Gilbert has given the front office the green light to be aggressive to add first-round picks. Like, they want to add at least one. I've seen them in discussion with the 21st for the Thunder. Obviously, in our mock, I had them trading with the Hornets because the Hornets want to relieve some cap space with that JR contract.
It's another option, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics trade up. The only question I would have for that is how many of the firsts and which first would they have to give up? Would it be
for 5?
Would it be the outside 2? Would it be the first 2 that the Celtics have? Like,
that's a big jump between 5 and 14. That's my concern. 7.
But if we're getting multiple firsts, so then the Cavs would be at, let's say, 14, 22, and 26.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm like they already. I forgot about that 26. Yeah,
because they got that rocket pick.
I could see that. Or I could see them going for future. You know, maybe they trade. Maybe they make one trade, and then they can pair that one to go back another year. Like, go back and get a 2020 pick from somebody. Or maybe the Cavs decide that they're not going to make the deal without a 2020 pick coming from the Celtics. So,
well, coming from the Celtics or that Memphis pick?
That Celtics pool of picks. You know what I'm talking about. You know what the end goal is.
Yeah.
You know, after listening to the Celtics fans ooze about them having the Kings pick and how they're going to get a top 5 pick this year, turn into the number 14 pick in one of the shallowest drafts we've seen in recent history, coming into the draft at least. We will see long-term what it turns out to be. But having them hoard all those pieces, hindsight is 2020 now. So it is kind of like, how valuable is that Memphis pick going to be next year? Looks pretty valuable right now, but we'll see.
Well, and the thing that I'm thinking about is, so when it comes to the Jarrett Culver, I think we're both in, I'll just say with me,
Hawks territory.
It's the Hawks. Like, the Hawks are going to get it done. The Pelicans have no reason not to make that deal because basically they got so much. And plus, with the Pelicans at 4, you don't need Darius Garland because you got Lonzo Ball now. You don't need Jarrett Culver because you got Drew Holiday. So what, are you going to reach for one of the 3s at 4? No. Get 8, get 10, get a 3, get a big. Like, that's what you can do with those picks. And just get more for Anthony Davis. When it comes to the Garland and the Cavs thing, though, because that's where it gets interesting for me. When I look at the Cavs, I mean, I'm on the side of, I think Colin Sexton is fine as their 1. I don't think they need to dive back in, get a Darius Garland. I look at it and I go, first off, you ask the question, and they have to answer it. Ultimately, what's Kevin Love's deal? Are we going to trade him? Are we not? Is he part of the plan? Not part of the plan?
You reward him for his years of loyalty, but at some point, you know, do you pay for loyalty?
And I mean, he was hurt last year. Like you had mentioned,
he's hurt
like,
every year.
How many wins would they have gotten if he played most of the games last year?
Probably about 35, 36.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have been where they were to be in this situation. I almost look at it, though, it's like, so Nuwaba's an RFA this offseason. You're trying to use J.R. Smith to possibly get a draft pick. So, I mean, and J.R.'s done
how many
at
draft
the end
picks
of this
do you
year.
Want?
Well, no, I'm saying, like, if they can't make a deal with the Celtics or don't, they could make a deal to get
potentially
an extra
back
first.
in the late 1,
So, 2 guard, I kind of look at and go, hey, if there's one available, go ahead and take him. Then I know you say, like, Jetty's a part of the future. He could be, he could not.
He's young. He made some strides last year.
He's only under contract for 1 year, so I'm not going to definitely say, yes, he's a part of the future going forward in Cleveland.
You talk to their fans.
So I almost look at it and go, hey, a 2 and a 3 could be on the table. Well, if you make a deal with the Celtics, and let's say just for this year, the 2020, is it in, is it not? I'll leave that for the comment section to argue whether or not it should or shouldn't be. But let's say they get 14 and 22. And I'm using Tankathon as a reference. At 14, 15, 16, and 17. I just was thinking about how I wanted to phrase it.
I was like...
Yeah, I wanted to think about how I was going to phrase it. 15, 16, and 17, they got Romeo, Nikhil, Tyler Hero. Take your pick at a 2 guard. Whichever one you like there, take your pick. Then at 22, you could go with a Cam Johnson. You could go with a Thibault. If you like, let's say, how me and you have Talon Horton-Tucker in some mock drafts up there. If you like a KZ Okpala, you can get him at 22. Or you can say, screw it, if Bol is there, if he falls that far, you can take him there. You can take a Luka Semenek there if you want. And then at 26, go for maybe a Matisse Thybulle or something. Or a Chuma. Like, you have options there at 14, 22, and 26 to do things.
That's the crazy thing. We harp on, well, at least I've probably been on record harping about like the lack of depth in this class. But the fun thing is everybody's pretty close in talent once you get past the big three to big five to start off. There's like 2 tiers there.
Yeah.
But yeah, pick 6 through 30. There's not much of a talent gap there.
Yeah.
There's a little here and there, but for the most part, those guys, you could put them in a box, shake them up, pull one out, and you're like, well, he could be pick 7, he could be pick 27.
Yeah.
This year is truly like, scouting is insanely difficult. This year it's even harder than like most year's draft classes.
Exactly. And like if I'm the Cavs, I look at that, it's like I could reach for not really reach at that point. The Pelicans would be a reach. Basically I could take DeAndre Hunter at 5.
Yeah.
And be happy because hey, it's a guy I want.
And he could pan out to be a 10-year starter for you.
You could do what your front office is trying to do. Be aggressive. Make that and the God offer,
Godfather.
What if the Celtics gave up all 3 for Darius Garland? Because apparently, what if that's the case where the Cavs are like, hey, I don't really like this deal. And Danny Ainge goes, no, fuck it, I want a point guard. And lays all 3 of those first.
In the back of my head, if Danny Ainge wants that guy that bad, I am not trading him.
Yeah.
That's the rule. You don't trade with Boston.
Ain't that right, Jake? Right?
Whew.
Ain't that right, Jake?
To be fair.
Faults Tatum.
I mean, they got Tatum in the 14th.
Yeah. True.
It's not the worst, deal in NBA history, but it's not good either.
But I mean, that is something.
Considering Fultz hasn't played yet.
Yeah. That's the thing I look
games.
at and I go, I think Jarrett Culver is going to be a Hawk. They're going to trade up.
Yeah.
And I think the Celtics do make a deal because the Celtics,
they tease. That's all the Celtics do is they tease the picks. I know. I mean, we joked about it in the Anthony Davis segment. It's, he offered 3 picks this year, 4 picks next year, 17 picks the year after that.
Danny Ainge,
his mother's house, car keys to a brand new. You can say whatever you want that they offered and the other team rejected. But at the end of the day, if you can't get it done,
and that's what I'm thinking.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
And that's what I'm thinking. Where I feel like maybe Danny Ainge is maybe getting it of fuck. I thought these draft picks would be the asset, and they turned out not to be the asset. I need
you still got a lot of shots. That's the thing is
I can't make these picks, and that's why I feel like they need to make a move for Garland because Kyrie's gone. Right now, all they have is Marcus Smart. I have a feeling that Boston's letting Terry walk. He ain't gonna be on. He's
sort of made a lot of public comments about his feelings.
I feel like they're like, well, we're cutting that because we can't bring that back. So you really have Marcus Smart. Unless you want to bring back Jonathan Gibson or Brad Wanamaker. No, I'll trade up, get Darius Garland, and run Smart and Garland at the 1.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but also I think that Tatum and Jaylen Brown, your other 2 pieces of that Nets deal, this is really their chance to shine. They have to step up this year. So
yeah,
I almost am like, well, do you want to go with the, getting supporting guys around them on young contracts so that way your whole team is young? Obviously, Gordon Hayward's contract will be the only bad one you've got because Horford looks like he's leaving. Kyrie looks like he's leaving. And then you got a team, with a ton of potential, ton of younger talent. Or are you all in on that? We need that one extra bit of upper end potential in a point guard like a Darius Garland? Or would you be okay taking, like you said, a Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a Kabengele, and another piece?
I personally, I would
fit
be
around
fine with
Jason
that.
And Jalen.
Personally, I would be fine with that because in my mock draft, the 7.0, I wasn't ballsy. I didn't have them make a trade like you did. The only version of my drafts of the draft was, and one of them I had Garland fall to 11. And at that point, I was like, well, fuck, the Celtics can't pass this up. So they traded up for him, and obviously that changed. But any of the guys, Brandon Clark, who I had falling to 14. They really like him. Yeah. Tyler Hero impressed him in a workout. Like, the Celtics, if you shoot enough threes and impress them, you're a pick.
Everyone
for the
gets
Celtics.
+5 made threes when you're playing in the Celtics gym.
Or like even a Nasir Little. Like the three guys that I had going to them, they
Nasir
really
Little just
liked.
screams like Jaylen Brown weaker. Like, not like weaker physically, but like a weaker prospect.
True. With me, I look at it and I go, it depends on, with the Celtics, I feel like they'll give up here's what I think.
Okay.
Maybe 2 picks, the 14 and the 22,
Yep.
and a future pick to move up to 5. And then right there with the Clipper pick at 20, they got to feel positive that they're going to get somebody they want. Probably to me, I feel like in their best situation, Garland at 5, Tyler Hero then at 20.
I've got him going, for whatever reason, Calvin Jelly. Like, that's the guy that, to me, screams Celtics, and I don't know why, because I know they took Robert Williams, the Time Lord, last year late in the first round.
But if Horford doesn't re-sign, that changes things. If Horford does not re-sign, that changes things, and that's why they could possibly have to say, hey, we're going to go point guard and big, and then try to get, like, because, like, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are there.
That's
like,
their
those are your
dudes.
starters.
The question is, who do you got up to 4 then, really? Like, because you can roll Jaylen. I mean, technically, Jaylen is a 2-3, and I'm sorry, Jaylen Brown is a 2-3, and Jason Tatum is a 3-4. So it's like, okay, well, you have that flexibility. Marooks looks like he's leaving. So the question, well, is he leaving, or are they going to pay him to stay now? Now that they've got cap available, it looks like.
So would it be Garland at the 1, Brown at the 2, Hayward at the 3, Tatum at the 4, Robert Williams, who you drafted
Daniel
last
Theis.
year, or you're like, they'd have to re-sign him because he's an RFA, but I don't feel like anyone's going to throw him a ton of money. Or
Baines
is there, or if, let's say, you take a Cobb and Jelly, or let's say they say, fuck it, we're going to go.
They've got too many options. I agree. Maybe they should just make the trade.
Maybe they go and
sacrifice
Nicholas Claxton, because apparently people really like Claxton now.
Yep. He got invited to
the green room.
The green room, which is spooky. He's 21st person invited, which says something.
Which we're thinking a lot of people may start rising.
He's going to be that guy this year. He's the Jerome Robinson of this class.
You think so? He goes that high?
3 weeks ago, nobody even gives a shit about, like, wait, Claxton, I got him somewhere in my middle of the second round. He's a raw center.
You're right.
He's got good upside, but he's got a lot of game to grow into. And now it's just like, he's going to be a late 1. Now it's like he's going to be late lottery maybe, which terrifies me.
Who takes him? Would it be the Pelicans at 10? Would it be the Pistons at 15 taking a backup center?
That wouldn't be the craziest thing.
Would it be the Hawks at 17? Like, I feel like the lower
the Hawks at 17 would be amazing. Actually, I would pull the trigger on that. Like, as much as I want Goga Patazde to go to the Hawks,
Tankathon has Goga 14 to the Celtics, but if they're not there at 14, I don't know how much Goga falls.
If Claxton's on the board and Goga's not for 17, or for the Spurs at 19, I would do either one of those. Just because that's what I'm reading into. I'm reading far too into this draft invite.
So Tankathon has Claxton going to the Spurs, but at 29.
Oh,
not at 19.
No, this seems like pretty much a lock. So
they've got Keldon Johnson at 19.
Yeah, no. Old news.
But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below. Where's Culver going to play? Where's Garland going to play? Who trades up for these guys, if any? Because, hey,
what is going on with the Celtics?
Hit the panic button. Everything is like, the sky is falling. People are leaving. We can't trade for the guys we want. Boston fans, let us know what you guys also are thinking down below in that comment section.